Hey guys, today we're going to make a Sopwith Camel. I am doing these parts as I am filming this video, so just bear with me. A lot of this video will probably jump around a little, but I should have most of it in order. We're making a Sopwith Camel today, and a little back history on this. It's a World War I flying plane. It's really well known for supposedly shooting down the Red Baron. And I'm a huge Snoopy fan, and he always hates the Red Baron if you know anything about Snoopy. So, let's get started. The tools you will need to make this plane will be balsa wood, a dowel rod or a square dowel rod. I'm not quite sure what they call those, but I am improvising. I could not find dowel rods at my local hardware store. Next, you will need glue. I am using some model glue that I use to put together airplanes, but it's not fast drying and it smells different, so it smells like oranges. Model glue, instant adhesive dry should work. I looked online, and balsa wood, they recommend Gorilla Glue, so you can look online, see what you like best. You can try it out to glue it. I did do a sample and it wasn't gluing as well, so I'll see what glues better. Next thing you will need is knives, assorted knives. If you use a pocket knife, they do usually work and they're sharp, but I have a knife that is simple and useful for cutting bats of photos. My dad uses these knives a lot. I think they might be called X-Acto knives. I'm not quite sure. You can use a box cutter. Those have a good sharp edge too. I have one of those, but I did not use it to cut out the patterns that I will be showing you in a little bit. This is sharp, really sharp. I have stabbed myself quite a few times with it, and it has drawn a lot of blood. One thing, even if you're a kid doing this, not a kid, I advise caution, a lot of caution. And if you're a kid, please have an adult cut out your balsa wood. Not because you're a kid, but knives can be dangerous, and I have hurt myself a lot with knives. Next, you will need twine. This won't be used until probably the end of the project, once we've tied it all down, gotten it done. So just have this on the side. If you don't have it now, no problem. This is some cloth twine. You can use elastic, like stuff you get on presents. It's really anything that's real thin and twiny looking. Fishing wire you can use, but it's kind of a little clear, so it doesn't show up as well. Next, you will need sunglasses and a light. The way I'm doing it will require these two, but if you do look online for a different way to bend your balsa wood, because you will be doing some of that, then by all means go ahead and do that. I am going to use the soak in water light method. I might change it a little bit. I'm going to be doing this. I'll probably be doing the bending off film, so we'll just see how it goes, and I promise I'll tell you how I do that. The sunglasses are for the light, because the light is really harsh when you just straight look into it. Safety glasses are please suggested as well. I have glasses. I wear glasses, so I have like double protection to those with the sunglasses. The final thing that will be needed that I would suggest is some form of push pins. These will be used to form the base. Once you're curving, you will need to hold your plane so it stays stable. I have some over here. I held this for a little while and it bent nicely. That is a nice bend. This is my practice and it did pretty well. I kept it a little too much in the middle here because the bend is nice, but I put it in my clips and it worked nicely. Let's get started. So what you're first going to want to do is trace your pattern. What the real fancy thing about my pattern here that I have in the link below is that all you have to do is face it up and it is ready to roll. Just trace it here with your pencil, trace it here, and cut her out with your X-Acto knife, pocket knife, whatever. One thing also with these patterns is I have gotten this from the internet, and they were meant for simply cutting out and ready to fold and make out of the paper. So what I suggest and what I did was I cut off the extra filling that was meant to fold over because there is enough surface area on the edges of this balsa wood to be able to glue the balsa wood straight together. So I have most of my pieces cut out. I do not have the round pieces to the propeller cut out, but I do have my propellers. These are my signs. This is what they look like. It would be more like this, and these are the pieces we will be bending. As well, we will be bending this piece. It has a cutout. Just cut that circle out. Real simple and easy. Cutting circles out of balsa wood is a little harder. Have someone help. If you want a real nice clean circle, I would suggest maybe trying a drill bit, but be very careful because it can split the wood real fast. But that looks nice there. It has a nice edge and corner. This piece is your bottom. This will be bending as well. You will bend this piece, so you will be circling. My wings. These are a little skinnier than I hoped. I actually made this pattern myself. I stretched it out on wood, and the wings did not stretch out as much as I would have liked them to, but I'm not recutting them, so this is what they'll be. I made these wings out of a thinner piece. I think I should have probably made them out of a thicker piece, as thick as these, because this is not that thin. If you can see that, you probably can't see it very well, but this is the thinner piece. This is the top wing. If you need any reminding, you can write it top wing on the inside because these pieces will be going together. Just so remember, bottom wing has no niches and knacks. This will be set back farther onto the body of the plane, but we will get to that later. These are your wings, the back wings, and you will notice these pieces do not have this piece. I cut this off. This is another piece that you can probably cut off and do away with, and you probably won't need it. I don't think you will need it at all because there is enough surface area here to glue straight onto here. Now, a lot of these pieces are double. I have freehand cut these out, and the grain of the wood is different in different areas, so a lot of them may not be the same. Take a piece of sandpaper and just even them out. You can take even a little bit of your knife, cut off just a little excess on each side. Make sure not to cut too much off of it, and be careful with the strange breaking of the wood. Alright. Now to first get started, before you even start bending your wood, you're going to want to know where you need to bend and what it's going to look like when bending. So this is my bottom piece, and this piece will be bending up like I showed you before. It will be bending up to come in contact with this piece. So that piece will be bend up, while this piece as also will be bending this way to meet the bending up of the bottom piece. While this piece, this is your top piece where your pilot goes, will be bending down to meet the bending over of this piece. I know it's complicated, but when you try it, just don't bend it at all. Just bend it slightly, just so you know these pieces are your sides. They will be bending in. Your top piece will be back end will be bending down, and your bottom piece will be bending up. Now, one thing also, there are some guides that will be on your patterns. So, for instance, on my wings here, I have places that I put my struts, where they will go on the plane, where the base of my plane will be landing on my plane. You will want to make sure that after you've bent and everything, you reapply those guidelines. And if you want the details, apply those as well. You can cut those out, poke holes, and put little black dots. Most of those guidelines will be covered up, so if you want to use a pen or a marker, sounds good. So you're going to want to fill a container that will be long enough. You can put all your pieces in. I would suggest doing this one piece at a time, as well as also doing the pieces together. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it all should work out in the end. So if you need, it would be good to have a watch with a timer on it, so you'll get the right time of starting and stopping. This should take 15 minutes, and get your light ready. I'll put this in and show you how to get your light ready. So make sure 15 minutes. Also, poke it around, flip it over every now and then, so it gets all over the wood. I am also going to do these two pieces, and I'll leave them in a little longer because I did not, than the 15 minutes, because I did not stick them all in at the same time. So, let's see about getting that light ready. So, this is my light, and this is where you will need your sunglasses or your safety glasses, because your light can sometimes break. And turn her on, and she puts out a good glow. Mine is a little wobbly here. The sturdiest lamp you can get will be the best. I'd say let it heat up for about a few minutes. This watt is a 75. I don't know if you can see it, it keeps moving, but this is 75. The hottest I think you can get will be nice, but make sure not to burn yourself. I'm doing this over my desk and stuff, so make sure you have plenty of paper towels, because it will be coming out of the water. So I'll show you how to do this when my minutes are up. So now, while you're waiting for all your pieces to get soaked up and ready to bend, you can glue your wings together if you did cut it out, or if you made the wings thicker, then leave them. You can glue them together with your Gorilla Glue or whatever you use. My wings looking nice. I'll glue this one so you can see what it's like, how I did it. Seems to be working out pretty well. So I put a generous helping here. Just all the way around, straight down the middle. This is my wing, so I won't be using as much make a figure 8 out of it. I'm just putting it on one side. Let's finish that. Close on my glue. So there it is there. I don't know if you can see the glue, but Jenna's helping on it. And then put it right on top of it. Line it up. And it's done. And what I usually like to do is place something heavy on it. I usually have this old camera. It's real good and heavy, and it's nice. It holds the firmness and makes it really heavy. Okay, so to get this bend in it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your piece, and you're going to want to know where you're going to bend it. And this one, I'm doing the top. It will be stopped bend at here, so I'm going to want to bend it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it over this lamp. And I'm just going to put it back and forth, bending slightly. But applying pressure every now and then. See it. And then you should slowly start to see you're allowing to get a bend in it. Be careful not to burn yourself while doing this, because you can get pretty close to this ball. Also, another thing, you can bend it to as far as you wish. Just be sure not to break the wood is pretty brittle. But also, as well, they will get to a point where your light bulb, if hot enough, will just evaporate all of the steam, so you won't get any other bend out of it. And as well, this piece will be the top piece, so you'll be wanting to bend it down. This is the top of your plane where your pilot is going to be. So now you're going to want to let it dry. So you got to set it up so that that curve will definitely stay in there. So you're going to want to take your tacks. You're going to work your tacks and basically tack this thing up. I use Gonza tape too. So you're going to want to put it on both sides here. This is basically your base layer. I put a few rows of this because this board that I'm using isn't very good, so it's basically an improvisation of it. And then I got it to stand up. And I'll put probably another row, one in front, one in the back. Working here. This, like that. And if your push pins are a lot easier, then it'll be a lot nicer and cleaner and easier to hold this up. And you're going to want to get pretty close to it so it holds it in place. This isn't working. Okay, let's just tape it then. So, tape this down like this. Got loads of tape here, let's see. Tape it here. Tape it on the long end like that. Oh. And then put extra tape sure it stays taped down. Piece of tape should go here. Piece there and a piece on this side. Alright, so I got that pretty taped down here. Now I need to make sure I have this taped in that nice angle that I need. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more support things right here on this curve. So I'm going to just add tape to it. For these curves, that's the best I've gotten. I have done 2 already, and I did get a okay curve, not that bad. But this one's a much better curve here. And I'll show you how to glue that on. This one here, like this. So, generous amounts of tape. I'm just using Scotch tape. You got other tapes that's better, definitely use them. So put it down and get that curve in it and tape it down. And that's usually just wait for it to dry. Now I have already made this version I just showed you. So this will be the tail. Oh. This will be the tail, and these are the 2 sides. Now one thing, you make sure these sides can be folded in 2 different directions. They need to be, make sure that you have 2 folds. So I was going to put these ends together at the corners right there. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put glue along this edge all the way to that down part, right to that edge. So take the glue and put a great generous helping. And you're going to be using a lot more tape on this, so make sure you have enough tape. So you're going to put a glob of glue, very generous amount on here. And you can even put it, it's really probably good to put it on the base as well. That good connection, and you're just gonna basically put it up and let it dry. If you have some fast drying glue, then you can probably skip on faster. And also as well, forgot to show, but glue the ends, because that is what is going to be connected. Generous amounts there, both sides. And make sure this glue is good and dry, because you will be bending this wood to make the final connections. So if it's not glued well and will not hold, then it will not work. Here's what it looks like here. I'm going to put the glue with the tape. Tape it as straight and upright as possible, as humanly possible. If you mess up with the amount of tape, just get another piece and tape again.